So when I first went to India in 2016, I spent 5 days in New Delhi when I first got there. And I was on my own. I booked a private room at a little backpackers hostel or hotel. And so I was there on my own for 5 days before meeting up with the homie Lavon, who was doing yoga training at the time in Rishikesh. So I spent 5 days exploring New Delhi, which is a pretty big city. I'm not quite sure what the population is, but it's a hectic city with people everywhere. A lot of stimulation on the streets. As soon as I left my hotel room, there was cows walking on the streets. There was homeless people. There was people trying to hustle me, and different smells, and just my senses were really overwhelmed. That's how I would put it when you first go to New Delhi. So in the first 2 days that I was there, I spent a lot of time walking around the streets, taking photos, really just exploring and trying different foods. And I came across this one book vendor who was set up on the street, had his books on the ground, and I've also got some photos of him as well. And on that day, I picked up the book The Secret, and I'm sure many of you guys would have heard of that book before, The Secret. And this is where I really dived into the law of attraction and making things manifest on this earth. I'm sure I would have heard of the law of attraction before then, but I don't think I dived as deeply into the law of attraction until that book. And that was in 2016, and so that's a good 6 years ago now. If I'm not right, it's 6 years ago now that I was in India. And I've been using those principles that I learned in that book to really make things manifest in my life. And we make things manifest in our lives whether we like it or not. We're just unaware of how we make things manifest or how we attract things to our life. And so some important lessons that I've learned from that book were about visualization, being aware of our thoughts and the thoughts that we have, whether they're positive or negative, and how we attract certain situations to ourselves with our thoughts. If we have thoughts of good health, of abundance and positivity in our lives, we attract those situations into our life. And on the flip side, if we have negative thoughts, if we're in a poverty mindset, we keep putting ourselves into situations that attract those circumstances. And over the last 6 years, and especially in the last 2 years, I've heard different people talk on the law of attraction and how we make things manifest. And it kind of keeps going deeper and deeper. It started from thoughts and visualization, and then I learned deeper that it's also about the feeling of what you're trying to attract to you, the emotion and where it's coming from. And so I think to make things manifest in this world, it's your thoughts, your brain power, your visualization inside your mind, plus positive feelings that come from the heart. And I think the quickest way to make things manifest is when you're coming from the heart. If you have a project as an artist that you want to make come alive, you're going to have more energy to make it come alive when it comes from a true place, from your heart. So visualization mixed with positive emotion that you're passionate about. And of course, we can do the visualization in our head and have positive emotion and sit there and meditate and think about things that we want to bring to this life. But the final step to the law of attraction is action, making things move. And so, emotion is energy in motion, and motion is movement. So we have to use emotion and action together in tandem. So have a positive feeling about something that you want to manifest. For example, say you want to do a certain painting of some mountains, and you're really passionate about the certain colors that you want to bring, the landscape, and you have a positive energy towards it. So you need to put that energy in motion, that emotion, and mix it with action. And the action is picking up the brush. And so, the law of attraction, the final step would be action, mixed with visualization, mixed with emotion. And that's what I've come to learn so far. And like I said before, whether we like it or not, everything that we've drawn to us, everything that we've made come about in this life comes from the law of attraction. Comes from action, us going to our workplaces and making money and bringing it back, like we're manifesting money in that case. If we're going to manifest a certain partner, some people go about it in different ways, manifesting that partner. They might take the action of going on Tinder. They might take the action of going to a bar or a club. Or they might take the action of approaching that fine-ass woman in the supermarket. So we're provoked by our emotion to take action, and that draws things into our lives. And it also brings about things in our lives, like writing a book. If you have, if you have the inclination and the passion to write a book about a certain subject, you can visualize in your mind about what the book's going to look like. The different chapters of the book, the art cover of the book, where it's going to be sold, and how people are going to feel when they pick up your book and when they start reading it. All those things come from visualization, mixed with the emotion of the subject that you're writing about. And the action part is you actually picking up the pen and, writing drafts, writing final copies, getting an editor to look at it. There's different stages to the process of creating art. And it's up to us as artists to really take that action with our art to make it manifest, to bring it to life. So, so far this is what I've learned on my journey of manifesting things and the law of attraction in this world is I feel like it's easier to bring things into existence when you're coming from the heart. It's people talk about the chakras, and people talk about, feelings and emotions, and listening to your gut and intuition and listening to your heart. And I think maybe, you're not actually listening to your heartbeat. It could just be a metaphor, but I think there's a deeper level to understanding to what people are saying by listening to your heart, so I think at the end of it, it's like about positive emotion. What gives you positive emotion? What keeps you energized? Bring those things to life, because that's what's going to fill you up, and that's what the world needs, is that real energy of passion, because you're going to have more energy to work with instead of, doing something that you're not passionate about just for the sake of money. It's harder to manifest money going to a job that you don't like because you don't have as much energy. You actually have more negative energy, which slows you down in the process of making that money. So, do creative projects that you're passionate about, that really brings you to life. And it's going to be easier for you to make it manifest because naturally you're going to have a higher energy towards it. Use visualization in your mind. Close your eyes when you get a chance and really visualize what you want your product, what you want your art to look like. And the final step would be action. I think action is the most important part that we can take when creating in this life. So yeah, that's what I've come to gather so far about attracting things and manifesting projects in this life. And it's a discipline of putting things into motion and taking that step forward and taking that action. But once you get the ball rolling, like I've said before, and you have that momentum, you have that motion, and you use that positive emotion to get the ball rolling even quicker, even faster with momentum, it's even hard to stop. It gets hard to stop that momentum once it's really going. So these are just my thoughts on, taking action on your art and what you want to bring about. Don't just sit on your ideas. It's fine, like I do this all the time, but we can obviously only work on one project at a time, one thing at a time. So if you do have an idea about a piece of art that you want to do, a project that you want to do, write it down. Like I got a whole lot of notes in my phone where I write down different ideas, and when it's time to come to it, I'll work on it then. But don't just sit on ideas forever and not take the action on it, because there'll forever be ideas that never come to life, and you never know. That one idea that you are sitting on and that you're not taking action on could be that one project that people in the world need, or that you need to bring about fruition in your life. So take action and, be strong with your action, and, believe that your positive emotion and the world and the good energy around what you're doing will make it easier for you to bring those projects to life.